Hey coaches, thanks for joining us again for this middle school air raid webinar series. We are on to Pass Pro, and we'll get into how we protect the quarterback with our linemen and our running backs when we do. In case you haven't already, please do connect with us on all of our social media platforms, especially YouTube. Obviously, Facebook and Twitter are awesome resources as well, where we can talk openly. But this weekly coaches roundtable, bi-weekly coaches roundtable, we really are encouraging everyone to come out, whether you're a spread coach or not. We just want to get better as youth coaches. So come join us and let's just talk some ball. We are getting close to the end here. We're on Pass Pro. So we'll just do drills and a few other things after this. But by now, you should have a pretty good grasp on your playbook. And yeah, now we get into kind of protecting things when we start passing. So let me just go to huddle and just bring this up for you, because this is really the whole thing. There's a couple rules that we need to go by, but before we get into rules, let's just talk about how these linemen line up. Okay, so two things. Number one, the splits. So high school, college, pros, air raid teams go 3 foot minimum splits. I still have yet to go all in with that. The concept makes sense. You are creating distance from the quarterback to these rushers, right, by getting space. I'm just not sure how consistent a youth player can be at 3 foot splits. We've been trying to do 2 foot, and I think that's a comfortable place for it. So I would say, aim for 2 if you can do more. If you guys are good in space and have good feet, aim for 3 if you can. But I think 2 works, and that's kind of what we've adopted. And then also, so that's sideways, right? Horizontally, we want 2 foot splits. Now, we also want to try to get some space and get a cushion here from the line of scrimmage. The rule book, we go by the high school rule book here, our refs, and the high school rule book here says that this guy's head, the guard and the tackle's head, has to be even with the numbers, the bottom of the numbers of the jersey of the center, okay? So we're gonna scoot these guys back as far as you can without getting flagged. Youth refs are pretty good about just talking first before they start throwing flags. So, we want to push it a little bit. These are all just ways to get space and to buy time, okay, for the quarterback and for these linemen. Philosophy-wise, we talk about doing a vertical set versus a slide step. Theoretically, and I think practically as well, the fact that we're 2 feet out already has given us that slide out, so we don't need to slide. We're already there. We're lined up there. And then what we're going to do is do 2 quick vertical pass sets. Okay, so inside foot, outside foot, inside foot, outside foot, straight back, quickly, but as well as gaining some depth, because really what we want to do is get back here. So this rusher has to come up a couple steps. It takes them a couple steps to get there. Then you're engaged. That takes another second or 2. And then if they get off of that block and get to the quarterback, that's another second or 2. So the more time we have to get back, the more time we have before we engage with the block. And then once we engage with the block, and then when they make a move and get off the block, that's, hopefully over 4 seconds. I mean, in all likelihood, it'll be 3 to 4 seconds. And if we can get 3 to 4 seconds, we're good to go. It's those 2 second and below when you get up here and miss. We had this went back and forth with my O-line coach last year. He wanted to fire out and bring the fight to them on Pass Pro. But if you do that and miss, then there's literally no cushion, and he's right at the quarterback. So this way, we're buying time before the contact. We're buying time after contact. We're just buying space. which is the whole point. So we're doing 2 quick vertical steps back, straight back, inside foot, outside foot. And then we are setting our hands. We are up, ready to punch, and we're doing drills, punching drills every day as a part of warm-ups. We rarely stretch all the way. We use that stretching period. The linemen are doing pass pro sets and technique and burning their legs in those type of drills. We actually have it chalked on our practice field. We're on grass, so they chalk boxes in our practice field end zone, and they do their walk. They walk through their steps, their drop steps, and those type of things during warm-ups. And then the receivers are over doing routes on air and settle and noose. And we'll talk about those drills next. But anyway, so these guys are getting plenty of pass pro technique. Okay. So number 1, 2 feet apart, side horizontally, and then vertically, we want to just get back as far as possible. I think as far as your head, as long as your head is crossing his butt, we haven't had too many issues with it. Okay. All right. So let's take that out. And now let's talk about the actual pass protection. And I'm not sure about you guys, but we see 5-man front, 5-3, 5-2, 6-2. We see that way more. Out of 12 games, we saw only a 4-man front only twice in the whole season. So either way, I'm going to teach you how to do it. But it's a simple counting technique that isn't hard. Essentially, it's big on big. I mean, if that's how you want to think about it, that's really how it works. But so it kind of starts with the center. The center is responsible for zeros. And if there's a nose tackle like there is most of the time for us, that guy over the center is a 0. Okay, so centers have zeros. Center responsible for zeros. Guards have 1s, okay, and they're typically over him. They could be flanked out here, but they have the 1s, and the tackles have the 2s, okay. And then the running back and the quarterback have 3s, okay. So in this scenario, if the quarterback and the running back decide, okay, that we need him on pass protection, and the coach decides that, we're going to make this call, and running back has the mic, the number 3, okay. Sometimes he's going to be a hot route in the route itself, and the quarterback knows in that scenario there's no extra blocker. The quarterback is responsible for them. So if he blitzes, he knows he has to get the ball out, and he is the hot route on these, okay. So the T is responsible for 3 unless it's predetermined that he's in the route and he will be a hot route, okay. So that's pretty simple 5-man front. As far as the rules go, it's not simple because it's really hard to get 5 quality pass protecting linemen at 12, 13 years of age. But that's what we are here to do, coach them up and get their feet sliding and get their hands punching. Now, when you do see a 4-man front, just so you know how to call it out, this mic, the center has to find the mic, okay? Center has to find the mic, and he will call out, mic is 0, or number 55 is 0. That means he has mic, okay? Which means T or the quarterback have 3 here, okay? And in that scenario, that's when we would get the L or R call, okay? So here, the running back would yell out R, which would tell the lineman, I'm on the right side helping with this guy. And this is after the center calls out 55 is 0, 55 is 0. Okay, so now let's just suppose that it goes this way. All right, come up to the line, center goes 55 is 0. And then T goes L. So that's telling these guys, I'm helping you guys on the left side. He still has him. He still has him. The only difference is T and the quarterback now have 3, okay? So the only other scenario that I think we need to address, and the only other thing that changes anything, is if we get into a situation, and we got it actually quite a bit last year, where they went 5-man front and then they walked up somebody in the gap, okay? And in that scenario, we bump everything down, okay? So we get an Okie call, this is the way we do it, but basically it's just a down call, where this center and guard, whatever the side it is, they turn around and say Okie, or down, down. And so that means he now has him, he now goes down on him, and he is out on him, okay? So that's the only other scenario, because when they're walked up like that, obviously they could slice through pretty quickly, and it's going to be tough unless he like literally stands right here in the way. It's going to be tough to get there. So again, if a Mike or Sam, whoever, is walked up in one of these holes, we're calling a down call, down, down. But these guys are now calling down. Okay, so he's going down. He stays on him. He's out here. Okay. All right, so the down call for blitzing, if you need to get a lineman on a linebacker quickly that's in the gap. We went over who's responsible for what, but this is pretty much what we see, what you'll probably see. But if you just assign everybody, the guards are responsible for ones and the tackles are responsible for twos, you're good. And in this scenario, we want to make sure that we call a down call. We are there, we are there, and we are there. Okay? All right, we will get into specific drills on this. You know, one drill, we'll do it next call, but one drill that we love to do is, instead of inside run, we have inside pass, where it's literally 5-on-5, or maybe it's 6-on-5 sometimes. And we have a quarterback and a running back, and it's literally play after play. Quarterback really gets used to, we don't let him run out of there. We don't let him do anything. We make him, as these guys are battling, we make him step up and navigate in the pocket, okay? And then we'll put a coach here, and a coach here, where you know, sticks or a snag or swing, and after 3 seconds of him trying to find space in the pocket, he'll throw it out to one of these guys. So we call that inside pass. We really love that drill because obviously we're repping both the linemen, the quarterbacks, and the running backs. Everyone is learning their drills. Everyone is learning their space. If you have some D linemen that are just pretty much only D linemen, they're obviously getting reps too. But that's inside pass is a drill that we absolutely love. Okay. And it really does help get this quarterback used to kind of dancing around in the pocket under pressure, because there's nothing like, you know, trying to throw in a collapsing pocket, and we don't want the field to be the first time that happens. Okay, so that's one drill that we do for inside pass. All right, cool. So hopefully that makes sense. That is our pretty quick and simple pass pro against a 5-man front. There's not that many options, which make it simple to know. But really, you know, this is the difference between winning and losing long term. No matter if you're a run team or a pass team, you've got to get your blocking right. And if you take the time to practice it, just like running drills, you'll get it. These kids will get it. They're smart enough and they're good enough to learn. So anyway, thanks for joining us for Pass Pro. We'll get into some very specific air raid drills for practice drills and everyday drills, those type of things on the next call. So thanks again. Make sure you're telling coaches so we can give more coaches the option to run the spread and hopefully bring participation numbers back to our game. Talk soon.